There's been a lot that's transformed my life about the humanities. And so when I think about it, though, the thing that still sticks with me is 20 years ago when I was on the faculty at Washington University in St. Louis. I was in the performing arts department, and I thought I knew something about diversity. I was teaching classes in feminist theater, in multicultural drama, but a friend named Joan Lipkin, who's a playwright and a producer, invited me to come and be part of something called the DisAbility Project. And what that was a group of us met once a week, and there were actors, people who had never acted before, there were activists, there were artists, there were disabled people, non-disabled people, and basically we made work about the disability experience grounded in their own experiences. So we made pieces about love, employment, sex, transportation, all kinds of things. And I had never thought about disability as an identity before. I had never thought about it as an activist movement before. I had never thought about my own fat body in the context not of stigma or shame, but in the context of juiciness and human variety. And so I remember two pieces particularly related to the DisAbility Project. One was a monologue by a guy named Stuart Falk, and it was called Club Med, and it taught me a lot about disability humor. Stuart did this piece where he described a trip to Club Med where everyone waited on him, and there were many beautiful women. But basically what he was describing, as we found out by the end of the piece, was a trip to Club Medicine, the hospital where he had had treatment for a UTI infection. And that was really funny and witty and just subversive. The other piece I remember is a piece called Go Figure that was written by Katie Rodriguez Bannister, and it was co-performed by her and a guy named Rich Scharf. And they traded off the piece, which was the story of Katie's first sexual experience after becoming a quadriplegic. Katie talked about learning to connect with someone, the experience of accepting her own body, joy, pleasure, empowerment. And Rich talked about the fact that it was empowering for him to perform that piece with her because as a gay man, he understood what it was like to have others tell him that his sexuality was not the norm. And so that was tremendously moving for me to see disability and other kinds of experiences and identities connect. And so when I came to Davidson College, I thought, well, that time's over. I've done this work with the DisAbility Project, but disability wouldn't let me go. And so through the advice and teaching of other colleagues here and across the country, I started to learn more about the field. And it's taken me in places that I never expected. I've taught classes on graphic medicine, disability in literature and art, representations of HIV/AIDS. I've curated different art exhibitions of disability art. But most importantly, that moment in the humanities 20 years ago of first encountering the DisAbility Project has allowed me to harness my own understanding of disability and translate it for students so they can see a wider range of human variation. And in doing that, I think it allows us all to be kinder to ourselves and to others because we all live in contingent bodies. We're all going to become disabled if we live long enough. And so for me to be able to help them see just the joy, creativity, dignity, and fierceness of disability culture is something for which I'll always be grateful to the DisAbility Project for first initiating in me. So for me, that's the best of what the humanities does, makes us kinder, more expansive, more capaciously thinking human beings.